In our previous video, we covered measuring instruments for AC circuits, and now we are going to learn the basics of household electrical installations. To begin with, we must talk about a very important measuring instrument for residential installations, which normally use AC current. We will briefly talk about a recording wattmeter, also known as a home electric meter. All electrical energy entering our house goes through this device, fundamentally a common wattmeter, but instead of using a needle for indicating instantaneous power use, it has a revolving disc which moves a clockwork mechanism driving an electromechanical counter, which adds up the kilowatts, thousands of watts, for each hour of power usage, showing either monthly or bi-monthly the power consumed by the user. Newer versions of this instrument work on solid-state digital circuits. Once the energy goes through the meter, it goes on to some safety devices called fuses, which, in case of an overload due to a short circuit, heat up to the point of melting a small soft metal link, thereby interrupting the current flow, preventing major damage to the wiring. After the problem is solved, the fuses can be restored by replacing the soft metal link. In more modern installations, thermal switches are used, which automatically switch off the power during an overload and can be reset simply by flipping a lever. Now let's see the basic elements in a household installation. Power outlets are 3-pin sockets where you can plug appliances, whether they are refrigerators, TV sets, radios, blenders, etc. These sockets are connected in parallel between the so-called neutral wire, close to ground potential, and the live wire, which is also called phase or L1. The sockets are of different size and shape, the shortest rectangle being for plugging the so-called live wire and the longest rectangle for plugging the neutral wire. A round-shaped socket internally connected to a green connection screw is connected by means of a green cable to a copper-clad bar, which is driven into the ground to absorb discharges which could harm the user. This line is called a ground connection. Color code is generally followed in the wiring for easier repairs or add-ons to existing circuitry. White wire is used for the neutral wire. Black wire is used for the live wire. Green wire is used for the ground wire. Another element we must have in a household electrical installation are the sockets for electrical bulbs, which are also called light bulbs. These receptacles only have 2 connecting screws. One of them goes to the neutral wire, white wire, and the other screw to an element called a switch. It's handy for easy repairing or adding more switches and bulbs that the cable going from the bulb to the switch is of a different color, say blue, to avoid confusion. The other end of the switch goes to the live wire. The switch has 2 contacts inside, which come together to make the light bulb turn on and move apart to turn it off. These actions are manually controlled by means of a rocker or a lever. In case it is required to add more bulbs and switches, you can use other colors such as yellow, gray, or brown, avoiding using white, black, or green, which have already been reserved for the neutral, live, or ground connections. Red is also reserved for some facilities using 2 voltages, thus requiring an additional live wire or phase, which should be red. The cables must be inside pipes, either metal or plastic, and are to be embedded in the concrete building, so it is extremely convenient to use the appropriate color code to identify the corresponding lines once they are buried in the walls and ceiling. The AWG gauge of the cables is usually 12, which is enough for a medium to small house power needs. You can also install several combined components, such as double power outlets, double switches, and a combination of an outlet and a switch. No problem with double outlets, however, since 2 outlets assembled as a single unit are readily available in the market with their necessary jumpers to join both outlets connections. Double switches are easy to install too. Different colors should be used for both circuits, such as blue and brown. In a single switch and outlet combination, these wires are required. One for the neutral, which is connected to the outlet, one for the light bulb, and one for the live wire, connecting to both the switch and the power outlet. Enough for this section. In the next video we will talk about twin voltage wiring. I hope this video has been useful to you. Thanks for watching and please subscribe to my channel. Chao Batarin.